La 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 la. So is there anybody in here yet? Anybody in here yet? Not yet. Maybe, maybe not. Just so you know, it's very difficult to walk, talk, and you know, carry a phone out at arm's length. I always said this was life at arm's length. You know, you guys get to see my life at arm's length. But anyways, welcome to Ag Talking Raw, where I talk raw about ag culture, and other things that are on my mind. So there's always something on my mind, always. So this past week was 6-day firearm. I did not go hunting. I just, I didn't go hunting. I haven't gone hunting in many years for the simple reason, I guess the bloodlust has left me. Uh, for many, many years, I shot deer on depredation permits. And if you don't know what a depredation permit is when you have such a high level of deer in your fields that they destroy your crop, like like really destroy your crop. So, oh, we had that. We had that so bad that you couldn't. I gave up growing corn and soybeans over it. And it wasn't that I didn't like growing corn and soybeans. It's just that I couldn't afford to grow corn or soybeans because of depredating deer. So we got the permit, and I would go out every single night all summer long into the fall and early spring at green up and just literally waffle deer on a daily basis. Now, to waffle deer on a daily basis takes an awful lot of time and energy to do that. Uh, it just does. It's ridiculous. So I killed so many deer that I actually lost that feeling of elation that you get from doing that. You know, you just don't have that euphoria or euphoric feeling when you shoot a deer. You know, that excitement, that thrill. You know, when you shoot the big buck and there's antlers. You know, and it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna stew these up and have antler stew. You know, that kind of thing. Anyways, right here, this is where turkeys have been scratching at the ground. We have an extraordinarily large population of coyotes and now a resident bear, and I forgot my gun. Damn it. Generally, if I go for a walk in the woods, I'll take my gun along with me, but apparently today I was more interested in taking that walk than I was for getting my gun. But anyhow, I want to talk about YouTube, and I have to get past the first couple of minutes before I talk about YouTube and their censoring and the censoring. When I talk about censoring, I'm not talking about like curse words. They've been slowing us down on the profanity here on YouTube for many years, and which is fine. You know, there's a lot of people that watch this. They don't really want to hear profanity, and my mouth is not exactly squeaky clean. I do use profanity on a regular basis, and I do use it in my videos, which has probably cost me a lot more in viewership than any of the other things. And the other thing is my views on current events. And I have to be really careful because there's an algorithm that is following me like a hawk. And the last time I expressed my views on current events, it cost me 300 subscribers, like that, and view counts that were doing quite well, and then were thrown into the toilet. When I say thrown into the toilet, I mean literally trash canned my channel to the point where if I didn't post a video, if I didn't post a video, I wouldn't get but 10,000 views over the course of oh shit, 2,500 videos or more. I'm not even sure how many videos I have up, but there's over 2,000 videos, closing in on 3,000 videos in my lifetime on YouTube, because I've been on here for like 12 years or so. I think it's 12 years. I'm on my 13th year. But anyhow, so that said, censorship is coming into play like big time. Like big time. Uh, I got a nasty gram here the other day. Not a nasty gram. Oh, did I really need to trip over that miserable stick? It's like I feel like a cow clodding through the barnyard here. Anyway, there's I got a memo or a message from the powers that be on this platform that was not exactly fun to read. It wasn't fun to read at all. And I'm going to stop here. There's a deer stand here. I've killed many deer here. As a matter of fact, my first deer I killed, my first buck I shot, I could show you exactly where it is because it's right there. If you see, well, here, I'll zoom it in for you. Yeah, a pipe with a white tip on it. Yeah, I shot my first buck about 2 feet to the left of that. But anyway. So as far as the censorship is concerned, as of like January 20th or 21st, uh, if you say the F word, and I'm not talking about the fornication word, I'm talking about the F word that is associated with uh, cheating. Let's use that one. The F word that's associated with cheating. If I use that word from that point forward of the 20th, after the 20th of January, videos by Al. Censorship is going to get worse. Good luck. Yeah, I know, but it really stinks because this is really scary time in our country. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, censorship is like the First Amendment is anti-censorship. We should not be censored as an American. We have the right to free speech as long as it isn't damaging to someone. Hate speech or hate speech, threats, and things like that. If you're a lawyer, you understand full well the First Amendment right to free speech. Now, calling an ace and a spade is the way I've always lived. I try to. I have been wrong in the past, and I've admitted when I'm wrong. If somebody calls me out that I'm wrong, then I'll say, you know what, you're right. You've proved me wrong, therefore I am wrong, and I apologize for my wrongdoing. And that's just the way I was raised and the way it should be. Um, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Well, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, that can technically be considered a threat if you, depending on what happened. But being right and being wrong, you can be right and obnoxious about being right, which I try not to be. Sometimes I do come across as an asshole when I'm right, and there are a lot of wrong things that have happened in my life, and no, I'm not never wrong. I have been wrong, and I am wrong at times, but that's not what we are. When you watch the results of the latest political event that we just went through, and you see, if you get to my age and you're 48 years old and you've seen a few of these events, they happen about once every 4 years, and there's usually somewhere between 48 and 53% that are really disappointed in the results of these events. But when you watch an event like we've watched, and over the years, the way the graph goes with these events, when there's a tally, they continue to widen towards the top until the winner is declared. In this case, it was together and continued to go wide, and then all of a sudden, it was bloop, like that. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So when you witness that and you see that, then the F word comes into play. Whether it is the F word or whether it is uh, just well, it is the F word. It is. But after the 20th, if we use the F word, or if we use anything that shows uh, non-support for the so-called guy that's supposed to come into the role of leadership, if you say anything wrong about that particular person, the guy that's supposed to take over the leadership role, then you will get a strike against you. You're allowed 3 strikes in the world of YouTube. First strike is you're not allowed to do live uploads like I'm doing here. Second strike, you get into trouble. I think that they take your monetization away on the second strike. And the third strike is your final strike, in which they remove your channel and all of its content. And then you almost have to have a lawyer to go to battle for your channel back. Because they are a free hosting site, you have to adhere to the rules that they set forth. Unfortunately, the rules that they set forth are lopsided, and they are also ever changing. Like I could say that the current leadership that we have here, there's no holds barred. You can say pretty much anything from he ass rapes donkeys, and that's okay. But if you say that maybe this last event that we went through in the early part of November was the F word, then you will be stricken against. And it's really sad to see this because it's wrong. It is wrong. We are supposed to have an opinion as long as our opinions are not hurtful or harmful to someone, which cause bodily harm, financial harm, or that kind of harm. And Eastern Shore Farmer, you're right in your title of your last video, not the video before when you're sitting on your couch. You're 100% right. Censorship has no place in our country. We shouldn't be censored. We shouldn't be restricted. Of course, there are other options, but those other options don't carry the weight that this current platform carries. And the other option is Rumble. And I'm on Rumble. I don't like it. I am on Rumble, so if you want to go to Rumble and look up the One Lonely Farmer, it is ONELONELY, lonely, or LEYELY, I think is what it is, One Lonely Farmer. I am on Rumble. I don't like the platform because it just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't go and see how my video is done. So unless I search myself, and then it will tell me my views, which maybe it's just getting used to, but it seems so antiquated compared to what this particular platform is. And as far as money is concerned, I don't understand how you make money on there. And even though I'm not in this to make money, I do like the money that I get because it helps. Anytime, that's what life is about. Working hard, and I put a lot of time into this platform. But yeah, I'll be on the Rumble. I just started on it yesterday. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. It's a little weird, a little difficult to figure out, but I think I've got it kind of, sort of. You have to use the Rumble camera, or you have to convert your cameras, your video footage from your regular camera to Rumble, and you can put them up, but it's just a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, so now all the Rumble people are starting to follow me, which is nice because I enjoy that. And I don't know what the Rumble is going to be. I don't know how much I'm going to post on it. I only posted 2 small videos, and one of them, for some reason, doesn't have sound. Yeah, it doesn't have sound. Now, why is that? But anyways, back to the censorship. If they don't break up these ideology run the ideology of censorship within these platforms, it will only bleed over to more and more and more censorship. It will leave the censorship of, say, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and the other accounts, and it will just start to bleed into our everyday life. Now, I read. I read actually more than most people understand or would believe that I read. And years ago, my sisters were made to read the book 1984. When I got into, I think it was I think it was fifth or sixth grade, we had to read 1984. Well, 1984 is a George Orwell book. Now, if you listen to news organizations, they'll talk about this becoming an Orwellian society. They are referring to the book 1984. I suggest you people go and read or download the book and listen to it. Most people have a headset now, or the earbuds, or earpods, or what iPod ears, or whatever the hell they call them. Just listen to the book 1984, and then look at what is going on here in the United States, and you will understand that the book 1984, which was written in 1948, and George Orwell felt that by 1984 that we would be in this Orwellian world. He's a little bit late, or a little bit early. I would take 1984 over now any day, as for the freedoms that we had in 1984 versus what we have today. We can thank the Arabs, or the not the Arabs, but the Arabs, you would call them that, the assholes that crashed airplanes into the Twin Towers for a lot of our loss of freedoms and all this stuff. Uh, well, if you've watched the news lately, I don't know that he's ever even going to make it into the White House if they do deem him the guy, because there's new, more and more evidence of what the president, our current president, was talking about before the election. It just wasn't reported. It wasn't reported. It wasn't released. It wasn't allowed to happen. But now, after we have this fumbled folly that happened in the beginning of the month, uh, that's over with. Now the real deal is coming out, and when the real information comes out, how many people that actually did cast that vote, how many of those would never have voted for this person? I mean, I got a pretty good idea that it would be a very large number, very large number, but they needed him. They needed him to get Kamala in. That's what they needed him for. But yeah. Yeah, hit the like button. I mean, this is my minor channel. This is the Ag Talking Raw. And yeah, I'd say at least 10%. I think the number would be much higher. I think it would be in the 17, 18% range. I really do. And I know that if the Republicans that voted for him would have had this information, they would not have voted for him. I honestly believe that. And I honestly think that the number of Republicans that did not vote for the current president, was in the less than 1% range. I don't think it was any higher than that. So, yeah, I know. I saw him say that, but the fact checkers on Facebook debunked it. They said, no, he never said that. It was taken out of context. Well, no, it wasn't taken out of context. He said it, and Camel Toe was there looking at him like, Joe, I can't believe you're saying what you're going to do or what we've planned on doing. And that's the crazy thing. So, fact checkers are the scourge of the social media of social media. Um, I don't know. I think it's a farce. I think the whole thing is a farce. Let's face it, Donald is not perfect. He's not perfect. We all know that. I mean, we like him. We like him enough that we would vote for him again, but he's not perfect. Anybody that says that he's perfect uh, is probably just never actually followed Donald Trump for the amount of years that I've followed him, or followed him. I say followed him. I know about him not paying his bills when he built the Taj Mahal down in Atlantic City and other things. I know all about that. When he was getting divorced from Eric and Don Jr. and Ivanka's mother, he was pretty brutal there. No, he is not perfect, but he is for America, and that's why we like him. And that is Eastern Shore Farmer. You're 100% correct. There's a lot of things that he did that I don't like as in his personal life, but that doesn't dictate to me not voting for him, because what he does for us in this country is what we elected him to do. I don't care if he fucked a prostitute. I don't care. I wouldn't care. Knowing Donald Trump, no, he wouldn't have done that. He's a germaphobe. The man's a germaphobe. He's a germaphobe. He really truly is. Watch the Ben Carson interviews. Ben Carson will tell you flat out. Knowing Donald Trump, you would know that that was false from the get-go, and it was just Democrat disinformation, which is kind of scary, that they would do that. But if you look at what the Democrats have accused Donald Trump of doing, and now I'm probably going to get censored here, but if you look at it, they're doing exactly times 10 what they accused him of doing. Now we've got what's the logo on your hat? Oh, green tractors matter. Because green tractors matter, they really do. But everything that they've accused Donald Trump of doing is something that they've done themselves. The few things that I don't like about Donald Trump and the administration that he put in place was, why isn't Hillary Clinton in prison? I'd like to see Hillary Clinton in prison. Yeah. And why isn't she there? Uh, where's this Durham report? We had Bob Mueller for 2 years with his Durham report, and now we've had, or the Mueller report, which turned out to be a nothing burger. And then we turn around and we're going to get the Durham report, which investigates the investigators. And it's like, well, where's 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 that report? Where's that report? Why didn't that come out? Those are things that I would like to know. Why is it that we don't have voter ID? Yeah, they had 4 years. Well, this is another thing that gets me. You know, they have been they have been railing against our president for over 4 years. I mean, railing against him, from Russian coercion or collusion or whatever you want to call it, to Ukrainian quid pro quos, to all kinds of crazy stuff. He even got impeached for it, which was ridiculous. Um, yeah, I mean, what makes people think that they would not resort to election tampering? You know, why? Why would you even think that after all we lived through for the last 4.5, 5 years, 5 years, or since 2015, I guess is when he came down the elevator with his wife to announce that he was going to run for president? It has been a constant attack on him. And why would anybody think that this election would be treated any different than the last 5, 6 years against this president? If you think that they're going to be setting aside their absolute hatred for this guy because he's, you know, so-called draining the swamp, which I think Barr is part of the swamp. I think Barr should have came out with these investigations when Joe Biden said there's no negative investigation, there's no federal investigation against me, my family, and my son, and he knew it then that there was, and Barr knew then that it was. Why didn't why didn't Barr come out like Mueller did and say, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not true. There are investigations." Because, at least Mueller was somewhat honorable. They always said that Mueller was an honorable guy, even though he was the Democrat go-to guy. And I don't think he wrote the Mueller report anyway, but, he was an honorable guy. And the fact of the matter was, he was an honorable guy. He really was. Actually, the president should have had Mueller do an investigation against the freaking people that was investigating the president. And he probably would have got some more honesty out of this kind of yeah. It's just crazy. The Durham report. Well, that's like jerking off to a porn magazine. It hasn't resulted in anything. It doesn't result in anything. Just a lot of hype. But whatever. It's silly. It's just silliness. Oh, anyway. Right, the Germans say all of Europe hated Donald Trump. I don't know how many people remember this, but I was on an airplane after I cast my vote. I flew to England where I bought two tractors, the 8530 and the 7530. And, I bought those two tractors in England. When I landed in England, the English were quite upset. The city English were quite upset that Donald Trump had won the election, which, to be honest with you, what the hell business is it of theirs? They benefited from it immensely. But yet their media, along with our media, soured the pot, and made it out that he was going to destroy our country, his country, their country, and everybody else's country. When the fact of the matter is, he got us out of a lot of lopsided payments to, say, the UN and all that other crap. So, yeah, there you go. But, anyways, I guess I'm done standing here. I got to get my ass back up to work. The boys are working on the baler, and I got to take off to New York for that thing. Plus, I'm hungry. It's like lunchtime. I think I've been on here for too long anyway. But, yeah, green tractors matter. I should make a red tractors matter, too. But, actually, red tractors is what I should have said. Was red tractors matter because there's a lot of green tractors out there in the world. There's not as many red ones or blue ones. You know, I got to come down here. There's some trees that need to be pulled out of here and cut on the sawmill. There's a nice oak tree that blew over at one point. Never got down there. The ash tree. All the ash trees are dying. There's the maple tree that the roots got washed out from. There's I don't know. I'm gonna turn you around here. I'm gonna show you where my great grandparents used to bring the cows down here. So there's a trail that comes from up there. I think I've showed this before. But there's a trail that came from up there, and I should bring my metal detector down here. I'm sure there's going to be some cow tags down through here. But my great grandfather, and I'm going to walk down here. Some of these, there's trails down here. A trail down through here. But this is how he used to bring the cows down. You can see the path, and it was fenced off. And what my great grandfather did, he was a coal miner and a copper miner, and he knocked out down here in this creek. He dug this out so the cows would have a natural trough to drink their water at. So if you see right here, my great grandfather did that. You can see the fractures in the rock as it goes like this. Well, all he did was he came down and he dug down and then he peeled them out so that the cows could have water. Now the problem with that is this is slipperier than hell. I mean, it is slick, but that's all red shale. And it's, in my lifetime, it has actually eroded away. It used to go straight across. That water would always come to this end and then out there, but freezing and thawing had broke that out and caused that. But yeah, now it's a beautiful area. Beautiful area. Yeah, I do have to build a storage shed. I'm actually going to be taking down the bunk feeder and putting in a building there. Man, look how that's eroding away. You can see how those stones just keep washing down farther and farther, and then they end up down there, and then they coagulate down there. I should come down and actually gather a bunch of those up out of there with the skid steer. I could come in and right up there. Yep, because it's still on our property, and yeah, I could get in there. You can see all these rocks here. But I think this is actually a stone wall where I'm walking right now, and it's washed away because when it's redirecting now, which is kind of crazy, but you get too much water, then it'll run over this side. But anyway, that's that. I guess I could turn y'all around. You can see my ugly mug again. What do we got going on here? Going to make venison chili next week, and informal. Yeah, yeah. Sawmill videos coming. That's true. So anyway, I'm gonna walk up through here. They used to come down through here with the snowmobiles all the time. That's weird. Huh. out of place rock. See how thin they are? Watch this, ready? They just break apart. It's like a yellow shale. It's not even red shale here. I've never found any fossils in here. And believe me, I've looked. Wait a minute. Alright, one loyal subscriber. I'm going to Scott Community College for diesel. Thanks for keeping it. Really, I'm a millennial, not a brainwash. I'm not brainwashed. Yeah, walking floor trailer as well. Is Jason Justin here in the chat? I don't think so. It wasn't this channel that he was on. Yeah, it does get sharp. Anyway, here's a maple tree. We could get that one. That makes neat lumber. And up we go. I'm out of shape, guys. I really am. Ooh. Look at this. Soaking wet. Anyway, I guess I'm going to sign off. Thanks for being here. I enjoyed you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.